hang on.
Doug?
Okay. Okay.
That sounds good.
Hey, got it. Finally.
All right, everyone. Welcome to our March working session. We'll start off. We're going to have a fire company update, 2025 recap, state of the fire company. So welcome Bill Chickots and Jim Nichols.
Nickel.
Sorry.
Jim Nickel.
Okay, sounds good. All right, welcome, gentlemen. So you know everyone, right?
I know everybody but the new people.
Oh, yes. We have a few new people. So,
Bill,
Curtis Neal.
yeah, I met you at the fire
Yes.
station, right?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. And I met you at the fire station, yeah. All right, just very quick. I've been with the fire company. I'll have my 40th anniversary this month. Jim will have his 24th anniversary this month. I'm in my 10th year as the chief. Just for those new, I want to give you a quick history of the fire company. It's not going to take very long. In 1921, in October 21, 18 concerned citizens met in the old Neely one-room school after a farmhouse burnt down and the family lost everything. At that meeting, they decided, took a vote to form a volunteer fire company, and the 18 families all donated $50 into the cause. And if you think about 1921, $50 was a lot of money. It was probably a month's wages. The very next month, another farmhouse burnt down, and more residents joined the cause. And they kept the vote going, and they put in for a charter for forming a volunteer fire company. That charter came in and secured, signed, and put into force on June 22nd, 1922, and that is our anniversary date. So this June will be 104 years old at the fire company. The newly formed fire company bought their first truck, which totaled about $2,100 end of 1922, and I extrapolated in this year's dollars. That came out to about $39,000 they put in. Where they got the money, we couldn't find where they got the money in the minutes. And Andy will tell you all the minutes were on ledger books, all handwritten. And but we got most of the stuff out of there. One of our members many years ago did that. They had no garage at the time to keep the truck in, so it was kept at Isaac Wright's garage at the corner of West Ingermar and Rochester, which became known as Ben Milbert's garage and is now Ray Doncha Body Works. Isaac Wright, who was the custodian of the truck, was the first chief of the fire company. A few months later, they purchased a quarter acre of property for $250, and it sits right across from the Borough building here. And that was in June of 1924. They signed a contract to build a 28 by 40 engine house. That engine house served as the community center and the fire hall for 27 years until the fire company bought property on Rochester Road, where the current fire station is, and built a new station there that opened up in 1953. There was an addition put on in 1976, and that station remained in use until the construction of the current fire station was completed in 2017. In August of 1961, when Franklin Township became Franklin Park Borough, the fire company changed its name from Ingermar Volunteer Fire Company No. 1 to Franklin Park Volunteer Fire Company No. 1. There were a lot of other things I could talk about out of the history, but I just wanted to give you a recap of the history of the fire company for the new people maybe didn't know it, or even current people didn't know it. So last year, we were busy last year. And you get the monthly fire reports that I send over to Kathy. We answered a total of 347 calls. And that's our second highest in history. Our highest was 350. And one of the ones that was high last year was severe weather and natural disaster. everybody remembers, in April, we had a pretty good storm roll through here. We had 19 calls in a 4-hour period. Our biggest pain are false alarms, false calls. We actually had, I had to go back through the stuff I put in for reporting. We actually had 28 fires last year of some form or another that we reported as there was flame or smoke or something showing. That's, I checked our records, that was the highest we've had as far back as I could get records. We don't have any big projects planned for operational this year. When I mean projects, replacing any equipment or anything like that. As I've reported before, since 2020, we are getting hammered on the cost of things. I think I've reported several times. In 2020, I put tires on a truck, 4 tires. They were $483 a piece, if I remember the number right. 2 years later, I put tires on. Those same tires at the state contract price went up to $600 and almost $700. 2 years later, I had to do another truck, 2 tires. They were $900 for the state contract pricing. So everything's in the PMs every year. We get our truck, when we get our trucks inspected, we do a full PM on it. They've ballooned from maybe like $750 for a smaller truck. The lowest one we had last year was $1,100. Our ladder truck is going to need some heavy maintenance within the next 2 years, and that, if it passes the test, the ladder test, will be fine. If it doesn't, it'll probably have to have significant repairs if we wanted to keep it in service or think about replacing it. Last year we talked about that, I think, and my mind, when I saw the price of what the trucks went up to, we're going to look, if we're going to replace it, we're going to look for a newer used one versus a new one. Try to save some money that way. We talked about having it refurbished, but the only thing is we still have almost a 30-year-old truck.
30-year-old truck. By the time that's done.
Yeah, by the time it's done, it's going to be
30
30 years old. By the time we work through that. Our fundraising, we're still about the same. We get about 19% response from the 5,700 and some odd addresses. I don't know what the exact number is at the end. I think John told me 5,738 addresses. We get about 19%. Dollar amount, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I want to say we brought in about $109,000. And if I would love to see that up to 30 or 40% response, but I don't think we're going to get it just with today's way people are today. They get it in the mail, in the garbage, or they never open it to see what it is. We did increase last year. We put on our appeal letter a QR code, and that picked up quite a bit from people mailing checks in. So we did do it there. We dollar amount this year over last year, we were up. I think it was about 3,000 more. But what was surprising, went back and looked. Everybody would think COVID year 2020 we would be down. COVID year was our best year. Dollar wise, COVID was our best year because we were thinking about not even doing it because there were, people. What are they soliciting for? We're in this COVID thing. But we made the decision, send it out. We sent it out in August or maybe even later that year. But dollar amount wise, we got more in COVID year than we have. So Jim might want to address, I know we have some building projects that are probably going to come up this year. You want to cover them?
So, I'm Jim Niggle. I grew up down in the King's Courts. I've been here my entire life. That's where I was born. And I moved over there side of the township when I got enough money to buy my own house. So I've been fireman for 24 years now. Both my kids are firemen now. My daughter joined 2 years ago, and she's currently going to CCAC for nursing on the fire vest program, which is great. Dad doesn't have to write tuition checks. Love it. My son, he's 14 years old. He just joined. I guess one of them. Well, we've always had a steady membership. Every year we lose a couple guys. Every year we gain a couple guys. People move. Different stuff goes on in their life, and then we always seem to pick up a few people on the way by. Training's been a thing for us. The training's gone up a lot. When I went through, it was 90 hours, and I remember thinking, oh my God, 90 hours. Well, it's 190 now. My daughter spent every Saturday there for 2.5 years at the fire academy to get up through her Mod 4. And my son's getting ready to start here this spring. So that's why we to combat that, we just lowered our junior age down to 14. To coincide with the North Allegheny program, where they're looking at offering fire training as an elective, but you have to join a fire company in order to be in that program. So we lowered our junior age down to 14. My son's not going to take that, but we're going to send him to fire school on Saturdays. Like, he's still going to be firing at 14. The building issues, we're looking at maybe the substation, the one we keep up on 910. It's, how old's that building now? 30?
We got it in 1990. I can't remember the year.
It's starting to show a little bit of wear. So we put a committee together, just some guys to get some estimates. It's probably going to need a roof and some soffit and fascia, and the security system's pretty well outdated. Windows and doors. We're going to work through that the best we can, the most economical way we can. And then at the main hall, our camera system's getting a little outdated. We're going to start working through that too. I guess for what you guys can do to help us is I don't believe, and I could be wrong, I'm not sure that this whole township knows we're volunteer. I do a lot of the community days over at A&N and at the YMCA, and you see the 30-somethings walking around with their kids and stuff like that. I don't think they realize that like they could come do this. They could come be a fireman. I think they think like we're a paid company, and when they call 911, we're going to come. And this is our job. So like helping us get that into the community that we're volunteer would be great. And along with the donations, that we're pretty much funded by donations, and your donation, and everybody else's donation. So that would be a good thing to help us. And the other thing, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about our fire company, please reach out to me or Bill. When we're working with all volunteers, I would rather keep the biggest open door we possibly can versus a closed door, because what I wouldn't want to have happen is, rumor mill starts flying, and then the volunteers go, oh, well, they're just going to do this without us, or they're going to do this, or they're going to do that without talking to us, and then guys stop coming to calls. That's the one challenge that I've come from being a business owner to leading a volunteer organization, is these guys don't have to come. They want to. So we have to make sure we keep them wanting to come, so we get the turnout that we get, which is for a small community is great. I counted last night, I think we had 16 or 17 people respond to that fire that wound up being at the Willow, wound up being a false alarm with 17 guys at 8:30 at night. That was pretty good. So any questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to talk about at any time, I know a couple of you have my cell phone number. Everybody's got my email. Please feel free to reach out. Is there any questions tonight about our organization, or anything that we're planning on doing or think we need to do to better ourselves, or anything?
Any questions?
Okay. Our dinner is the April 25th. It's always a good time, and all the councilmen are invited, and the mayor's invited. Please.
You'll be getting an invitation from the committee.
Please come. We usually only get 1 or 2 a year. I'd love to see everybody there, so you guys can meet us. We really are just a big family there. So my kids been raised since they were this big. I was a single dad, so they used to get drug up there, and they run around. We were messing around with the trucks that we got. Now they're both firemen. So please, we'd love to see you there. Thank you.
And the theme for the dinner is 1980s. What they always come up with a theme like Western theme or something. They came up with 1980s. I don't know.
Any questions for our company? Just real quick, so you mentioned volunteers, and there's probably opportunities outside of actually responding to a call.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, like, we have different levels of volunteer. Like, if we have somebody who just wants to drive a truck and doesn't want to do all that fire training, like, we can always use a truck driver. That way, because usually, like I could put an air pack on, but I wind up driving the truck a lot. Fire police, we have guys that direct traffic, and they help airing out directed traffic. That was one other thing I wanted to touch on, too, I forgot about. And I think that's 16 hours of training, and it's just as needed as the guy fighting a fire, because we get run over by a car while we're fighting a fire, like, it is what it is. Or, like, we do a lot on 79. So we do a lot of car wrecks and stuff like that. We got to get out of the truck on 79. I can promise you, if anybody's ever gets hurt, it's not going to be in a house fire here. It's going to be down on 79, because try closing 279 one time to see what happens. People don't like it. We always need help. Andy always needs help in the accounting department. You know, that's always needed. We always need secretaries and guys, people to type minutes and pretty much anything. So any interest at all, if anybody has in joining in the community, again, my email, I think there's an email for joining, actually. And there's a Join Now button on our website. And one thing I want to touch about our company is, since I've been a member, like, we try to be as fiscally responsible as we can. I know last year we had a fire police truck in the budget, and we had like $150,000 in the budget to replace it. How old's FP3?
It's an 08.
It's to replace an 08. And we were getting quotes back that were like $320,000, $350,000 for a new fire police vehicle. We wound up finding one in garage for $120,000 up in New York, near Rochester, New York. It was a dive truck. They used it twice a year, once to put their boat in, once to pull their boat out, and they used it occasionally for dive stuff. It had 16,000 miles or 11,000? Had 11,000 miles on it. Still had the tires on it. We wound up picking that thing up with a brand new aluminum rosin bar body for $120,000 and put it together for the guys. They got the truck they needed, and we saved ourselves a little bit of money in the process. But so again, if you guys have any questions about anything there, just please don't hesitate to reach out.
And then you mentioned most of your calls are natural disasters, like, right? I think I heard that right.
Well, last year when we had that storm, in April, we had either 18 or 19 calls in a 4-hour period.
Okay. So that's something you can't control as a person, right, as a resident. But are there things that residents can do to prevent fires? Like,
so smoke detectors won't prevent fires, but it'll get the fire stopped a lot sooner. Especially if they're tied into an automatic dispatch, which we don't like because they go off and we get dispatched automatically. But if there is a fire, we like that because it takes that time out where somebody goes, "Oh, my house is on fire," and they have to find their phone, call 911. We're already on the way. And CO meters. We had a CO call not too long ago, and usually CO calls are nothing. Up in Hunter's Point, how many parts per million was that? It was high. It was a cracked heat exchanger in their furnace. Like, those people wouldn't have been alive in the morning.
How did they know? They just
the meter was chirping.
They had a meter that was chirping.
Okay. Yep.
And she actually looked at me and said, "I told him not to call 911. I'm sure it's a broken meter." They'd have been dead. They'd have been dead in the morning. I went to Home Depot and bought new ones for my mom's house and new ones for my house like the next day. After I realized that.
Yep. No, that's a good point. And I think last time you were here, you mentioned that smoke detectors every 10 years. Is that
right? And this year, some of the calls that we've had with alarms off. First thing I do is I take it off the ceiling. I look at the date on the back. And I've had we had 79 automatic fire alarms that were all false. I would guess probably half a dozen or a dozen or more, they were expired. They were the one I was in. They're good for 10 years. The date on the back of them was 2000. You know, and I said, these are supposed to be changed every 10 years.
they give a lot of residents that probably just aren't aware. I wasn't aware about the 10 year. I know for carbon monoxide detectors, 10 years because
carbon monoxide. I think UL just lowered that to 7 years.
7. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's stuff we could spread the word on. I'll do that along with volunteers. So
Yeah.
Okay, well yeah, thank you. Any questions?
I do have one thought. So is there anything that can be done? You know, I don't know exactly what your outreaches are for, you know, getting the word out, you know, hey, come volunteer, hey, you know, donate, you know, could we look at the signs, you know, some kind of social media campaign?
We have a website right now. We're getting ready to overhaul it again. So once we get that out, if anybody knows that knows a lot about social media advertising, I do not.
I don't either. I know it exists.
We have one guy that's pretty good at that. We're getting ready to go down. We're getting ready to go down that road and start that project here as soon as he gets back from Florida because he's a snowbird.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to start that. Try to ramp that up more than we've been doing in the past.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking between that and, you know, maybe like good old fashioned signs, you know, hey, volunteer today, or hey, donate today, or anything like that. You know.
Well, we have, when we do our firefighter for a day, we have a program, we do firefighter for a day.
Yeah.
And it's a group thing with several of our surrounding fire companies. It's a whole Saturday at our station. And we take stuff around to all the commercial places, and I think they're still hanging in, like in Coons. We need you, you know, and it's our sign to volunteer. And we do at the festival in the park. We set our canopy up, and we have applications, and we have talked to people about. They ask, "What do I need to do?" And I think we've got an application out of it, but they never followed through with it. You know, but we've started asking for donations at festival in the park, and we've done pretty good. Cash donations.
Okay.
We even did a QR code one. We put it up there, and we got quite a few off of that.
I think the more social media is the better. Since you said the QR code is, you know, brought us some $3,000 more in per year, so that the more you reach out to what are social media, Facebook, Instagram, these people are everywhere. You know, if you go to the one that people operate at Franklin Park, you know, people have a lot of comment in that. If you go to their maybe that Facebook group, you know, advertise about, hey, donate to so and so. A lot of visibility to that one of those sites.
Does the bar still have the welcome package for new people?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything in it for the fire company?
I believe
That
there
will
is.
volunteer?
I'd love to see a draft of that.
Bill, I just bought 1,000 more of the brochures last year, so Tom has a stock of them. They're definitely going in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can get you a copy.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah,
Maybe
let's see
some
a draft.
changes to that.
We got 1,000. We'll use those up first.
Yeah.
How often do houses turn over in Franklin Park? Does anybody know? I don't know. Like how many people are moving in and out? Like let's say every year.
I don't know the exact number, but
I guess.
I was going to say, like, the deed transfer
transfers?
reports are always greater in the summer months.
Yeah.
Like now it's this last month
like
it
lien
was
letters, I signed so many of them, but it doesn't
right,
mean it's just for,
right.
for sale.
I wonder
pretty
if my
level.
neighborhood's
That-
representative, because we have about 100 houses, and we usually plan on 4 to 6 turning over per year, so maybe ballpark it at 5%. But that's
5%
assuming
turn.
that,
People move out of Franklin Park and new people are moving in.
yeah, but that's assuming that, you know, my neighborhood of like 100 is representative of the whole borough. But it's
Maybe
about as good
100.
as I can think.
Maybe so, yes.
200. Okay.
And on it, for that real estate transfer thing, we have a guy that runs our
Donation.
donation letter. He sees a transfer with a new name. He sends us a letter.
Yeah.
Yep. So, just to say welcome, donate.
And your volunteers.
Yeah, and we're volunteers.
Don't forget
Yeah.
that.
Join.
Yeah. Well, thanks for letting us
Yeah.
do our once a year. And please don't you get the invite to our dinner? Please try to come to our dinner.
We're there every Thursday night. So, and we're training every Thursday night. So if anybody wants to see what we're doing down there, feel free to stop on a Thursday night. Especially if you drive by, you see the ladder up in the air, we're probably doing something cool. It might be worth stopping and taking a look at.
Chasing the young kids up the ladder.
Chasing the young
with
kids,
tools.
chasing the young
Carrying
kids
tools
up,
there.
chasing the young kids up the ladder. That's right.
Okay. Well, welcome. Thanks again.
All
And
right, thank
let us
you,
know if
sir.
you do anything. Good seeing you, Bill.
Good seeing you.
Good meeting
Thank
you.
you.
All right. Have a good one.
Thanks, Zach.
Thank you.
Okay, lots of good information there, so spread the word.
Yep.
Okay, the next item on the old business, data center draft ordinance. Zach?
Yeah, of course. Last meeting we kind of went over this a little bit. We put together a draft data center ordinance, and then we had some questions about where we wanted that to be on our map. We have a rough draft put together. Kathy, do you have that in here? I'm not sure that you do.
I didn't see the map.
Okay.
No,
that
you did not give me the map.
we would like to move forward with starting to get that drafted by LSSC and prepared so we can amend the map and then pass the ordinance accordingly.
Yep. Are we drawing that tonight?
I mean, it's drawn, and it's already been reviewed by the Land Use Committee.
Yep.
So I'm just kind of waiting for final approval for us to move forward.
Yeah. Are we?
Yeah.
And this is the brown strip, right?
Yeah, and I think we saw the crayon version that Tim did was perfect. Like,
Yeah.
it was exactly what I thought it was supposed to look like.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure, because I don't have it in front of me, but it is the brown strip and then to the left of it.
Yes, correct.
Okay, not to the right.
Correct.
You stand by your crayon, right?
I stand by my crayons.
Okay.
You guys are good with that, I'll pass my crayons on to.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly what I anticipated.
Okay. Dr. Lee, just ask what you can get, because this is Ward 1. Okay.
You like? Good.
Okay. And then, so we're good with that.
Okay.
LSC has to do something now, or?
Yeah.
Okay. And then,
So we'll take it from there.
okay,
So
and then
we'll have to
yep.
revise the map and then we'll probably have to do an ordinance to adopt
Yep.
it.
Yeah, we'll review that in here first, right, before
Yep.
introducing. Okay.
And if you are, once again, we have a business conflict on substantive details and looked at
This
it,
is just
otherwise
procedure.
procedural.
Yeah.
If you are doing a zoning map change, there are extra notice requirements, including notice to anybody who would be in that area of the public hearing that you're doing. This is not a comprehensive rezoning. It's not the entire map. It's one that trips up some people sometimes. Oh,
We'll get it
You
done.
can't advise us on that
It won't
schedule.
trip.
I can on that.
On
Yeah,
that.
procedural. I can. That's why I'm
Okay.
bringing just that one
Okay.
up for why it's a little different.
What's
Still
it
has
do?
to go.
Yep, go ahead.
So you pull the addresses that are involved in that. Yeah.
Is it a 1 mile radius, or what is
Nope. Whoever's in the zoning or the zoning map is being changed on top of them, just to give them personal mailed notice. We still do newspaper, post the properties around that area too on a zoning map change. A text amendment, which is really just everything that you're saying for the requirements, is still in the newspaper. There is no posting. There is no personal notice to anybody. Both, if you're doing two ordinances, their zoning ordinance amendments need review and comment from Planning Commission, essentially 45 days before public hearing or otherwise, and sent to the County Economic Development for their review and comment 45 days before you take action.
There you go. Got a timeline.
And Max, you mentioned everyone who's in that zoning, so since this is part of R1, does that mean everyone who lives in R1 gets a letter? Is that
R1? No, not everyone.
Just
the
whoever
overlay.
it's-
So everybody that has property within that overlay district.
Yeah.
And,
Whatever you're changing on the map
yeah.
is what gets noticed.
It'll be part of it will be M3 and part of it will be R1, small part of the
okay?
R1.
So whoever owns R1 property, that is part of the overlay.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Sorry, misread that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then same way with the M3. So anybody that has property in M3.
All right.
Kim, can you point that to that area that?
So this is the R1, and it basically is this area over here.
Yeah.
And then the M3 is this brown area, and the overlay will stop here.
At the bold black line.
Yeah, at this overlay line here for the
Yeah.
oil and gas.
Yeah.
So it means that there are not so many houses. Right?
No.
No, it's
Yeah.
not too many. It'll probably, if it's 20, it'll probably be a
Yeah,
lot.
that-
Yeah.
And it stays in the dark brown.
It doesn't escape.
Does
from
not
this.
release.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I was looking for. Okay.
Good. All right.
Anything else on this? Or? Okay. Next item is the schedule land use committee for cell tower zoning review. What's
Whatever the next available is fine.
April 15th.
Sounds like a day.
Tax day. Oh, boy.
Sounds like a day.
Okay. So you have a committee meeting that day.
No, there's no committee meeting that day.
Oh.
The next meeting you have personnel. The April 1st meeting you have Parks and Recreation. That's always annually before everything
Okay.
opens up for spring. And so April 15th then will be land use.
April 15th, okay.
They can just say the agendas.
I have cell tower zoning review.
You got it.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
All right, on to new business. Review the March 18, 2026 regular meeting agenda.
Making my note. 14, 15, at 6. Okay. Yes, in terms of the agenda, we do have the one item of old business, first and foremost, the tabled motion on Deerfield Estates. I don't know if we need to talk any more about any other developments since then, but I think Tim had reported last time that he had conveyed the message, and we're not surprised that they did get tabled. We do need to take action, though. I believe that time period we looked up last month does come up in April for action or a deemed approval.
April 9th.
April 9th.
Yeah, will be the deadline.
What?
Time on the page, the April 9th.
That was
Because
90
their
days.
submission date.
No. What?
They submitted this application, this is Deerfield, they submitted the application in January, beginning of January.
Yeah,
So
but
that
we had looked at
We
right
looked-
before we tabled
The
it.
staff report we looked at.
Yeah.
Let me pull it. Let me pull the staff
I think it was the day
report.
after. It was like the 16th or.
There's the staff report. April 9th, time on the
Oh.
date.
That's all right.
Yeah, that would be 90 days because it didn't hit council within 90 days from submission. So clock started on January 9th,
Right. And they did not go to Planning Commission,
right?
but then that's 30 days from the submission date that starts the 90.
Only if it comes before the meeting, only if the meeting comes within that 30 days. If the meeting is past that 30 days, then you start on the submission date.
The meeting
Okay.
is past the 30 days.
So I've been doing for the last.
Well,
30 years,
I
so
know,
don't-
but it is.
So Tim,
I
what's
just
a- what's
thought
a
when
date?
we were talking about this to table it, that we pulled it up and we had until April 16th or something. Did something change on the? Well, that's still January 29th.
No, I haven't revised my report, so the 90 days ends on April 9th, so we're good for the March meeting.
Okay. No, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I'm already
Yeah.
thinking of April. It was that
Yeah.
April 15th that I
Yeah,
just wrote
yeah.
down that got me
We're good.
thinking
We just
wrong.
can't table it again.
All right, good.
Yeah.
You're already.
So Tim, the developer, Zach filled me in and you saw the email. Their plan is to start constructing. What
As
is
soon as
there?
they can. I mean, right now, it's just too wet. I mean, and they're doing the engineering. Well, they did. You saw the drawings.
Yeah.
We passed them on to you. So they want to work for acceptance of phase one anyhow. This year when the weather's nice, so they can get it ready. So they want to finish stuff up in phase one.
Okay.
So that works in our favor to get this thing done. And now that they have an idea and everybody's in their agreement, I'm sure he's gonna just take care of it.
Okay. So we're relying on their word.
If he
Well,
doesn't,
and,
it's Max's fault.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we're giving something up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we can hang on to this anyhow for that purpose because they're two separate applications, not even in the same phase. So I think we take his word for it.
Any thoughts?
So, okay, just in case if they don't do it, and do we have anything like we can?
We have money.
We have money,
of it,
right?
and plenty of it. Yep.
plenty of it. Then yeah, we can take their words, and so just but please and just share that the message with them, and that we're not happy with the situation, and so if you really and we right now we can take your words, and but if you don't do it, and then we'll take some action. Just let them know about that.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be any issue with it. As soon as they can schedule it when the weather's nice enough to do it, I think it'll be fine. Right now, the ground's either frozen or wet.
Yeah.
And so, since they're getting off the beaten path, you might say, they have to wait probably till the asphalt plants open up, because they're going to asphalt the remainder of that trail coming up. That's what was done down to the property line by the other developers. So I think that's going to be a real nice connection, that trail.
So if you talk about the weather, and so I believe that it will become like really good in like 1 or 2 months. So do you think that they can?
I think it'll be done. I think it'll be done probably sometime in
June.
End of April, sometime in May.
Oh, May. Okay.
It's probably, you said it's
Weather's
asphalt, right?
Weather's going to dictate.
Yeah. And the driveways there, I think, are asphalt. So I imagine.
Well, the driveways are the builder, the developer probably is going to have shields do it. The guy that actually does.
It wouldn't be the same person.
No.
Okay.
No, it might be. He might just grab them and say, "Do it."
Okay. All right.
Is
Yeah.
the money that we have, same thing, can that be used to twist their arm to do this? I'm hearing you say you're confident they're going to do it anyway.
I think so.
But the bond money we have.
I think that our engineer's going to be watching that closely. So, it's all improvements that we need to accept. So.
Okay. It was technically improper to tie what we have now to the pathway, but the other money we have, would that be proper to tie it to that?
Well, the other money, every time they put a sidewalk in, the other money is available for him to get released.
Okay.
So, that's something that Sean's going to be watching to make sure that there's enough money for this project, and we're just not ready to accept anything until it's in. Like I said, he's looking for acceptance sometime this good season, good weather season.
This is all phase 1, right? So yeah, phase 1 is pretty much built out and almost at that point.
Yeah, for sure is.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Tim, thanks for that context.
All right, moving on to just the new business. We've got a number of grants that will be authorized through resolutions. They've been discussed before. We do have a new hire. I don't know if you talk about in personnel or otherwise, but in public works. With respect to, as we talked about, I think it was last month, last work session, with the updates to the Uniform Construction Code 2021 version, we have gone and put together ordinances for the International Property Maintenance Code and the Fire Code, which are not part of the UCC and not automatically adopted. You have an option to adopt them separately, and we've undertaken that last several years. We had a couple of comments back and forth, so there might be text bubbles in the version that was submitted, but we are wrapping that up and intend to introduce that for action at the April meeting. No public hearings are required, no notices out, other than the typical ordinance enactment process.
Introduction at this meeting?
Yes.
I thought you said April meeting.
For action.
Action, April, okay, sorry. I misheard.
That's all right. And somebody's going on a shopping spree. We'll say with that one. Let that stand for itself. Yes.
Yeah, quick question to 2 ordinances on property and fire prevention. So I'm not sure if I asked this, but Andy, I think I reached out to you or Tim. So I noticed we are basically adopting the code as a state adopted it, right? It's basically a flow through. Is there anything?
We're adopting portions of the code that the state hasn't adopted.
Right.
Has not adopted.
And they don't adopt.
Okay.
Right. It's when we adopt the state code, the fire prevention code is part of it if it's referenced in the building code.
Okay.
But only things that pertain to new construction are referenced in that.
Okay.
Everything else for maintenance, for property maintenance for existing buildings, for us to do our fire inspections, but are not part of that. So what we're trying to do is bring the 2021 fire prevention code up to the same standard as the building code.
Okay.
And then same way with the international property maintenance code too.
Okay, so the reason I'm asking is like when I was reading through what the state adopted, there were a couple of things that the Builder Association had lobbied against, and one of them is the electrical service disconnect. So for single family,
that's part of the NEC. That's
Yeah.
not even a part of this.
Okay.
That's going to happen no matter what the building.
Okay, so for Cardinal Ridge it's required, right? Because those are
Yep.
townhomes.
Any new construction that gets a permit from January 1st
Of this year.
on
Okay.
this year is required to have that.
Okay, even townhomes because they're multifamily.
Yeah, single. Well, yeah, because any type of residence
Okay.
would have a disconnect. Needs to disconnect.
Sounds good. Any
And
questions?
then also all of the 220, your electric range plugs and anything like that have to be GFCI protected now too, which that's a brand new thing. So
Does it-
it's adding a couple of grand on the house.
Does it go to a certain amp limit, or is it any amperage?
As far as I know, that the 220, what's over and above that isn't in a home.
Okay.
So and on commercial stuff, I'm sure is much different.
That GCFI, it can be in the actual utility, the box, right? The panel box, it doesn't have to be
It could
at
be
the
in
actual
the
receptacle.
panel box, or it could be in the outlet itself.
Right.
And I haven't seen any 220 GFCI outlets yet.
There,
So
I have
I
one.
haven't seen the outlet, but the breaker I've seen. And they
I have
are-
the breaker in my box.
They are-
so but that's probably for 110, not 220. That's not for your oven.
No.
Because this is all brand new. I'm not even sure they make the stuff yet.
Yeah, right. Supply chain
Yeah.
issues.
There's a goofy
Tim,
dryer.
if the end unit is GFCI certified, does the breaker have to be GFC certified, or does anything else need to be added, or that's good
Well,
enough?
I mean, it has. Yeah, I mean, it has to be. Everything in there has to be the GFCI certified, or the other one. There's nothing that's just a regular outlet anymore in the code. It's crazy. Somebody's making money on it.
That's a really expensive.
So those breakers are like
Electrical service.
6 times.
Yeah, so if you're in a house that was built in 1930 and you get a new service,
Mhm.
it has to have that.
Yeah,
emergency
okay.
disconnect.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. Sounds good. Yeah. Any questions? Okay. All right. Reports to staff, engineer, solicitor. Max, you want to go first?
I have one item continue to discuss in executive session. I've submitted my report. If I wrote that, I am going to be out of town on April 1st, April Fool's Day. I'll not be a joke, but Anna Hosack, who's been attending meetings with the Planning Commission, will be in this seat. So load up and pepper her with questions of chain matters in the borough code.
That you put in.
Yeah. I'll leave a whoopee cushion.
You have to tell me.
Have you ever put?
Okay.
You did.
You have my report. The focus continues to be on closing out last year and getting the audit of the information you need, and we are nearing completion of that. It should be the next week or two. Have an answer.
The only thing I have to have in my report is, the yard waste site is open over there now at the park. For residents, they have to, for the residents, they do have to have permits for it. And, the only other thing I have is a salt report. We got 300 ton of salt last week. Good thing that the weather has been mild. We, held out. Hopefully stays mild yet here. I still got quite a bit of tonnage on order. That I have to get, brought in yet, and, as of right now, we're good on salt for, if we had a couple snowstorms, couple heavy snowstorms, we'll make it through.
And if nothing happened, maybe the storage capacity for salt, if they came in.
We have the capacity, and it might go a little bit over, but the thing which is good about that is, I'm sure the price is gonna be going up next year on it, what I'm understanding. So, whatever we have, we can, go in storage for the next year or so.
little dollar cost averaging. Well, we also have this stuff.
We've we stored it before in that park, we just parked up and we got an area where we park it, so, we've done it for a couple of years in a row. I think, we had, like 1,500 pounds under park over there for a couple, 2 different years over there, so. But, we might end up a little bit over where we have to target, so. Yeah, and other than that, if there's any other questions?
Did you guys get over to that and drive the big hole with the water?
Yeah, yeah, and on your street there, yeah, they've been putting some cold patch in it, but they said that the bad thing about it, keeps sinking and it's such a small area, it's a big area, but it's not thick. What happens, it's just not staying in real good.
Did you also see the drain across from it is really beat up now? It looks like they ran a truck over it and it's broken and it's crumbled. Just take a look at that.
Yeah, and until the weather gets good, as far as until Westview gets in there, possibly fix the area. So I told the guys, I tell them keep an eye on it. So
you think they'll fix the curb then too? That the cement curb is broken.
Yeah, as long wherever they work, if it's in the area where they work, they do have to repair it. So
badly damaged. It's crumbling and the metal is really exposed now. Remember we had that problem before where the metal's been stuck.
Yeah.
Hey. Ready? Zoning hearing board, there is none this month. No applications were submitted. Planning commission, they're gonna be taking a look at Cardinal Ridge again. Fox Lane Homes backed out from building those homes, and Miranda is the new builder that's been awarded those lots. So I took a look at what Miranda was proposing. The fronts look okay, but the sides and rear are just same changing. They don't need mustard, I don't think. So they told me come back and it's the planning commission, and you guys can get the scrutinize the structure again.
So this is a brand developer for JPO.
And Bliss. They'll never.
Dan Bliss?
Miranda's got the whole hands full. That's all I have.
What's the light green code that says closed for the chickens? No further complaints or sightings of chickens. Or is that just like they take on there or not?
They comply.
Okay, that's what that means. Okay.
Yeah, we're not seeing any chickens with our secret agent spice. They said they got rid of them and we confirmed.
Like you went over there and made some fucking noises and everything.
No, stayed in the backyard. In the neighbor's backyard. Did not trespass.
Thanks, Jen. Anything else?
That's all I got.
You have my report. Monday, we opened up resident registration for Easter egg hunt as well as 2027 bookings for all of our rentable facilities. And then non-residents can register Easter egg hunt on Monday, the 9th, and non-residents can register for 2027 on the 16th. So that's where we're at right now. Yeah, it's lots of fun working that far ahead.
Whoa. What family could commit to that?
I think I did 10 on Monday, so yeah, grad parties usually. Grad parties or weddings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right, you have my report. The golf course, if the weather holds, I'm looking to open on Monday, at least maybe for walking. Probably a little wet for carts. I'm playing it easy, so without messing up the course or tearing things up this early in the season. But I get multiple calls a day for the gentleman with the money burning in their pocket wanting to buy their season pass and get started, so get their exercise. So if the weather stays dry over the weekend, we'll open up Monday, and then March will have to be day to day with rain and what days we're open.
Other than that, I am the shopping spree on the back of that card for the meeting. It's mostly just, getting things ordered, especially for trucks. They won't be delivered till minimum summertime. Just the salesman getting the proper paperwork to me and trying, especially with the trucks, getting them in order before the city gets their order in, 15 or 20 that they're ordering. So trying to get ahead of them. So that's just why it all came in all at the same time. I gave the salesman a date, and they were a couple of days past, but they got it all in. So. Any other questions?
No, thank you.
You do have a report, just a couple highlights for this evening. We did meet with Zach and Jim, last week. We will follow up from a meeting with DEP the following week to try to get the last remaining items at, Acorn Park, in line from a permitting perspective, so the borough can finish work there and close that out. So, I hope there that we'll be able to do that in the upcoming months here. The only other one was, we are still on pace for March 20th bid opening for the seal coat project for McGee Road. So we'll open that, for discussion at, April's workshop, and then we'll do a little foundation favorable for April. Other than that, they'll have to answer questions council may have at the meeting, anything else we may be listening.
You have my report. Happy to answer any questions.
You're gonna need time for executive? Other than that? No, you are probably good. Unless you want to stay for the rec talk?
Sounds like I can get out by 8:30. If you want to move that up, I can hang for a little bit.
We can hit it real fast. Yeah, nobody else will. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful. Are
you? Yeah, our meeting on the side, it was 11:30, but I remember.
You executive session, you want to do here? Yeah. I'm gonna skip right to the comprehensive recreation parks and open space plan, to try to be cognizant exact. We, submitted our RFPs in February, it was January, and got all of our proposals right here at the end of February. We, reached out to 7 consultants. We had 4 respond, with plans, for our Parks and Rec, comprehensive, for a comp plan. 2 of them, I don't think would qualify. The same consultant who did our last one, is their person that does these. And so I don't know that we were 100% satisfied with what we received last time. So kind of dismissed them, and then, so we had 2 eligible, and I want to make a recommendation to move forward with one of them, that I think would be good for us. They are, Patrick. They fall within our budget, based on our grants, and have a lot of experience with communities in our region and our size. They've done a lot of work with Cranberry, Upper St. Clair, McCandless, Pine, and have done some great work. And then I called a few references and people I know that work with them. They have nothing but good things to say. I think that's the right way moving forward. That sounds fair. Yeah.
What were some of the complaints, for lack of a better word, with the last people?
Maintenance heavy instead of like a plan for how we're gonna continue to advance, continue to grow. As we bought these properties that we need to tie into our park system, we need somebody who's gonna look for a long term of how are we gonna incorporate these into our overall park system.
Yeah, we got a mountain we got to, especially across from the.
Thank you. Good job. As far as my report, you guys have everything. I'll hit a couple key things. We submitted our joint permit application for Bear Run. Now that everything is settled there, that time frame for permit is looking 6 to 9 months. We already got comments back from them on some administrative stuff they wanted to see prior to even doing the plan review. So CEC is adjusting that now to resubmit the administrative challenges. The DCD has a watershed restoration protection grant that's coming up and due May 31st. My intention is to apply for that as well, try to offset the cost of this project, which is proposed at around $600,000 at this time. Fish run for MS4, working to finalize some access agreements with property owners to get into the newly acquired properties that we have. Talks have been going pretty good at this time. Another grant for Act 13, the Greenway Trail and Recreation Program. We're going to apply to try to add a bathroom facility in Blueberry, close to the playground equipment. As we kind of advance the Blueberry patch and with the new equipment going in, it's going to be beneficial for us to have a on-site bathroom for that area. But grant pending, of course, the municipal money spent unless we're, funded. We've already hit the comp rec plan. Yeah, that's the bulk of it. Happy to answer any questions you have. We also need to schedule our emergency operations drill. We met with Tom, last meeting, and he's looking to try to do that either in the spring or fall. I'm more preferable to the fall, but I need to get an email from everybody stating a couple of dates in the fall that you guys are available. Try to get something together because planning it out, we're gonna have to organize a lot of different organizations to make this happen.
So we're going to Saturday? Or like before a meeting before?
I would assume it would be a Saturday, just because of the scope of it. I don't know if you would want to try to rush it into an evening.
What did you do last night? Was the same drill last night happen?
No, we did just like an administrative run through of, what this whole thing looks like when something bad is happening. The chain of command a little bit, stuff like that. The full run through will be, we're working with the county, with all of our first responders, for them to actually come to a site, like there was an emergency, like more, hands-on.
Is this only a Franklin Park thing, or are we gonna do each like?
Just for us, because our emergency management plan is always getting past our list, so. I need to talk to Tim, but I need some weekend availabilities from council, for the fall.
When we did that a couple of years ago, about
2 hours.
Oh, that was it?
Yeah, that's what we're saying, like, I think we did it before council meeting.
Yeah, but
It
it
started
wasn't disengaged,
Yeah.
we didn't have a bunch of other responders showing up.
There were like 15 people like I think we were all there.
You did have the county, you had fire, the EMS, the police, staff.
My thought was to do like a Saturday morning, so I can do budget, just.
Morning is good.
Yeah.
Okay, either that or take a weeknight.
Yeah. Okay.
That's one way.
I'll work with Tom to figure out what.
Yeah, see what he
thinks it works best for everybody involved. The last thing I had was just self-storage. We had some concern here coming to this week when we still thought we were gonna get a bunch of snow. The salt providers in the area aren't delivering in a timely fashion, so we're at the mercy of our suppliers. And so we have 3,000 tons of salt starting every year. It has the usage over the last couple of years. So 21 to 2022, we went through 4,800 tons of salt. 22 to 23, 3,500. In the last 2 years or 2022, 2023 was light year. Last year we used 3,700 tons of salt. And so whenever we start hitting low, we're at the mercy of these suppliers. And we hadn't got a salt shipment. We got one yesterday, but we hadn't got one previously until like the beginning of January. And so we were kind of getting dangerously low. We got hit pretty hard again. We'd be in a real pinch. There's avenues to kind of get out of that. One is declaring a state of emergency, they have to deliver you salt, they'll have an option. And the second being, PennDOT has a program where if we run out of salt, we can work with them, we can go pick it up ourselves from one of their locations. We can use it, and then we gotta return salt to them once our shipments come in. So, not, yeah.
That's what that
Yeah, yes, it is. So, we would have never been in a situation where we're kind of, in danger, I don't believe. But it's something we definitely need to look into in the future of being able to have enough salt storage. We can make it through a full season without being at the mercy of suppliers who are unreliable.
So you want to get 4,000?
Ideally, I'd like to add another 1,000.
Yeah.
Because that way, we're, no matter what, because you have to buy your salt between August and April of every year, right? We're good through the winter. We'll order it all in March. It doesn't matter, and we'll get it as soon as we order it.
And Gary, still the extra 1,000 that you're suggesting under the TARP along with the rest?
No, not now. Yeah, we would actually have to build some sort of, structure, which I'm starting to try to look into cost-friendly options.
Oh, because he had a very unfriendly option last time.
Yes, yeah.
Like the Taj Mahal.
They built the Taj Mahal. I don't need Taj Mahal. I need just additional undercover storage, right? It's not just. Well, it has to be salt resistant, so a lot of people end up with some sort of concrete foundation around with an arch down over it.
Isn't that what's by
You're
the
not.
gas station?
Yeah. Yeah, something of that sort is big enough that the hold, a ton of salt, or 1,000 tons of salt. Yeah, no salt's easy. And so I'm gonna start looking into options to try to find some funding for that, or building it into our capital budget as we move forward.
If I missed it, how much salt have we used this season?
Right now, I have how much we've ordered. I don't know how much we've actually used at this time. I've talked to Gary. We hold 3,000 tons on the site. We were down to 500 ton at one point. We're back up to around 1,000 ton plus what's in our trucks. So we should be good for at least a couple storms. And then, like I said, there's options to try to get us out of this. I have a draft ordinance ready in case we get into an emergency, or resolution ready for a state of emergency for salt. And then obviously working with PennDOT, but just an observation that, especially with these winters that have been harsh the last couple of years, you're at the mercy of suppliers. The rivers kind of froze up, and so they weren't moving anything up barges anymore. What kind of ends up happening is in communities that do issue state of emergencies or critically low get prioritized, and then we just don't get shipments for a long period of time.
That draft
What do you want to?
resolution's not in here, was it?
No, I just have like a stock one. It was in our emergency management. I just revised it to.
Okay.
Would you like to do that resolution for emergency? Can you call a special meeting?
Yeah.
To do that?
Well, I mean, the mayor can declare.
Yeah.
Without
Oh, great,
any
okay,
type
so
of
there's
meeting.
always a lever for that, okay, good.
Going back to code. It's the only time we ever used it.
Yeah, and we kept it there for quite a while.
Yeah.
It gave us extra
Continued.
funding, extra power.
But I did call our state reps. The one contract we have, two contracts, how we just solve. We have one through the North Hills Cog, which we have a contract with them through Morton, and then one under CoStars, which is American Rock Salt, right? That one's through the Department of General Services through the state. So I called our reps to give them a little bit of an earful about suppliers not being able to fulfill their responsibilities based on their contracts for the second year around. So it's frustrating. I'm still waiting for answers on what they've been doing, but it's become an issue, and not just here, but regionally. All these communities are struggling to find material in order to handle these winters as they become a little bit more.
We were one of the first to do two contracts, and the auditors dinged us for a question to answer.
2-week liquid fuels audit.
Yeah.
The hope is that we can stagger orders so that we always have salt coming in, but neither one of them delivered for over a month.
So it doesn't cost much to store the salt, right? So we just need to build the storage
facility. Yeah.
That's it. That's all the cost that we need, right?
We still need to buy the same amount of salt, for the most part.
On the stormwater
control
Yes,
concerns, and
there
then
are
there
some.
are extra because we
Yeah.
got salt under there.
Yeah, like I know that whenever Ohio Township built their new one recently, with everything, I think it was like $500,000, but it was a really large facility. We're not looking at that.
Even though Bell Acres has one that is just.
Yeah, bare bones.
Yeah.
You're talking about just a supplement one, not a whole new to
Correct.
how they're
Yeah,
going.
the regular one's fine. We just need additional storage.
And the regular one for Blueberry Park.
Correct. That's where this would live as well. That's all I have.
I have a question for you about Montgomery Road stormwater.
Yes.
Do we feel good about that timeline? I know that it's out of our control, but that has to be finished by June 9th.
Yes, I was in contact with them today, they are planning to start end of March, early April, with a projected timeline of 3 weeks to complete. All county funded, so no cost to the municipality.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
you mentioned about Blueberry Park.
Yes.
What's it cost? Blueberry.
Yeah, you have the stock ordinance in the agenda? Or did you not add it?
It was a resolution.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yes,
Sorry.
they're in here. If you look under the regular
Yeah.
meeting agenda items.
Found it. Okay, it is 190,000.
This is to replace the.
Yeah. Yeah, so if your kids are in the Blueberry Patch, we don't have like a close bathroom facility anywhere.
Right.
So the intention is that they use the same style vaulted one that we used in Acorn, and put it into the fenced in area, not in it, but on the edge of the fence. Yeah, so people with small kids can take their kids to the bathroom without leaving the safety of the fenced in enclosure. Yeah, and because it's a, you know, a vaulted system, we don't have to worry about, you know, damage from pipes, you know, exploding in the winter time. It'll be available, you know, just like this week where we had some 60-degree days. Most of our, you know, running facilities are still closed because, you know, we don't know what the weather's doing yet. But these ones will be able to be open, you know, all year long. Yeah, absolutely. You know, the building itself is around, you know, a little over 100 grand. But we gotta run electric and do some, you know, site prep. So.
Is that something, I know you said there was, you know, perhaps grants available for that?
Yeah.
Is there an opportunity for, you know, say like UPMC, Jen, and running with deep pockets to kind of slap their name on something and then throw some?
We've never done that here.
Okay.
From my understanding, and I don't know that we're interested in that.
I mean,
Yeah, so it really hasn't been a discussion.
okay.
Not that I say we couldn't, but, you know, I actually had a resident call me this week. I think they called Laura as well about wanting to try to put together some sort of community fund where residents can donate to match park advancements. For us to, you know, continue to develop these parks without so much burden on us, so they can have what they're interested in. You know, a quick phone call, so I'll have more information and I get a chance to sit down with them and try to see what that could look like. You know, my concern is that, you know, residents know the things that we don't see as, you know, something that we want in our facilities or, you know, drive towards things that is not a part of our comprehensive plan that we're probably doing.
But it's a good point. We should think about it in the future, like TV sponsorship.
Yeah, there's other ways to get money without.
Yeah, fields, right? Fields is a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, if someone wants to build a turf field on that, yeah.
There was discussion a couple of years ago, somebody was requesting to name something after somebody, and there were some issues, so we just have to be careful sometimes.
And there was no donation with that. Isn't that the one?
Yeah, correct. They just wanted to attach somebody's name.
Yeah.
To an existing thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not the same.
Yeah. Suspect. Right.
There were some sketchiness with that.
You guys have any other questions for me?
Okay, moving along.
Reports from council member, the first.
No, I don't have anything.
Nothing new tonight?
Nothing.
Two things real quick. I just was gonna mention the conversation that I had with someone in the back had about public-private partnerships, and we can look at that more in depth later if we want to. Max, my question for you, in your report, there's something about the Tribune Review weekly print edition info. What's the update on that?
They started reaching out to a number of municipalities, getting emails as well, that they're going to do a 1 day. Oh, you didn't get one yet? Yeah, voicemail, Allison.
Yeah, I've not seen
Okay.
anything.
But yes, they are proposing, I think it's like May 9th, start a Saturday print edition. Available for advertising, but no new update on Post Gazette, selling equipment at one printing press area. There's some traction about, the nonprofit or somebody else swooping in, but as of now, it's still planning to be closed.
Yeah, they just some closure plans.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
But on tonight's news, I was listening, when it came over, it said they were talking about that there's still some possibility of not the current owners, but somebody
coming in, yeah. I guess at least Tribune Review coming back to print, we at least have that. The Pittsburgh Courier doesn't have a big enough circulation. And there's nobody else.
And last thing for Acorn, as we hopefully come to the close of the work there, I'd still like to have a grand opening, that's sort of open.
Yeah.
I mean, I think of a community event, once we get stuff planted and the
Yeah.
restrooms in and all that.
Okay. Yeah, now that, we rather than resubmit to the DEP, we're hoping to have it cleared up here in the next couple of weeks. We'll have to bring in an outside electrician to do some electrical work for us. And then our public works, parks employees will kind of handle the bulk of it there. Planting, putting a ramp into it, the handicap accessible bathroom, and then putting in some benches and some overlooks along the trail. And we should be well done. I don't know the time frame. I'm thinking probably May will be done, so that we're looking for summer. Hopefully there's plans to kind of take off and be done.
Yeah, Cedar. We go to executive session?
You take over.
Yeah.